Begin with all the latest coming in from North Korea, which has decided that it would call off all military and political communication links with its enemy South Korea. The decision comes after several North Korean defectors and activists in Seoul began sending anti-Pyongyang leaflets over to the border. Authorities in Pyongyang have said that North Korea will completely cut military and political communication channels with South Korea, accusing it of conniving with enemies of Kim Jong-un and for carrying out hostile activities against the North Korean state. The rising tension between North and South Korea comes despite three important interactions between Kim Jong-un and Moon Jae-in, the South Korean president. Pyongyang has further threatened to cut off the liaison line between the North and the South and has also warned of delinking communication lines between East and West Sea communication lines. Political tension in the Korean Peninsula was fueled with large-scale protests launched by North Korean defectors in South Korea. In response to these protests of leaflets by the South, Kim Jong-un's sister has warned Seoul that it may cancel the recent bilateral military agreement if the activity continues to persist. Youth activists and supporters of North Korean Supreme Leader carried out a huge protest against the leaflet campaign that was launched criticizing Kim Jong-un. A video published by the state-run media house also showed hundreds of people covered in face masks at an outdoor theatre rallying against these defectors. In the meanwhile, officials in South Korea were quick to respond to Kim Jong-un's statement. Seoul assured that it would make efforts to stop defector groups from sending anti-Kim leaflets and improve the relations it has with the North. However, North Korea has been subjected to several sanctions from the international community over its banned weapons program and gross human rights violations. For more details and perspective on this news story, I'm joined in by our correspondent Bruce Harrison, who's joining me live from Seoul. A very good afternoon to you, Bruce. Now, considering the leafletting to North has been an old issue, it's nothing new. Is the North using the South Korean activists and their propaganda as a pretext to not only cut communication channels with the South, but also build a more hostile environment? Do you see the North launching a provocation in the face of persistent US-led sanctions?
Akanksha, what we can tell right now, because you said this is an old issue, the North may be trying to take advantage of this opportunity. They've been launching leaflets for many years. Actually, North Korea, in fact, has sent its own anti-South Korea propaganda leaflets on balloons across the border as well. But North Korea has been struggling. We believe, experts as well as many outside the country, believe North Korea has been struggling from COVID-19 just like the rest of the world. And they may be seizing on an opportunity here to try and firm up loyalty to the Kim Jong-un regime and using this leaflet issue as an opportunity to do that, to bash South Korea in so many words and firm up support for Kim Jong-un. That could be one of the reasons right now experts are suggesting this is taking place. They're also probably simply frustrated over stalled talks, despite all the hype over the Peace Olympics and the summits between Kim and leader Moon Jae-in here, President Moon Jae-in, as well as President Trump and Kim. We haven't seen any progress on inter-Korean relations. So severing communications between the two countries is something we've also seen in the past. It's a way to ramp up pressure on the South to try and maybe get a concession.
Right. Bruce, reports are also stating that the decision was made by Kim Yo-jong, the powerful sister of Chairman Kim Jong-un. Last week, Kim Yo-jong also abused defectors of the North. How do you view Kim Yo-jong's role in the current scheme of things?
We continue to hear more and more from North Korean leader's sister, Kim Yo-jong. It's quite fascinating. We first saw her at those peace games, the 2018 Pyeongchang Winter Olympics that I mentioned, when she attended alongside South Korean leaders as well as other world officials at the opening ceremony. And in the past few months, she's appeared more and more in North Korean state media, issuing different statements as well as criticisms of South Korea. And now we have here her criticizing the South over the leaflets and also suggesting more damning for the Moon government, which has been trying to chip away at the North and build a relationship, suggesting that they may once again fully close the liaison office across the border, as well as deconstruct the a joint factory that the two have had planned on restarting to try and create some sort of traction between the two countries on getting relations better. This joint factory was usually employed by North Korean workers and then South Korean capital. We haven't seen that working at all, despite Moon's efforts. So it's interesting to hear so much from Kim Yo-jong making these strong statements, where in the past you only heard the leader of the country making statements. It was Kim Jong-un, or before him it was his father, Kim Jong-il.
Right. Bruce, also we hear that the South plans to communicate with the North to diffuse tensions quickly. How soon can we expect formal communication?
It's hard to say. As I mentioned, we've seen North Korea sever these communications lines before, whether it was their military hotlines to make sure there was no skirmishes or issues in the West Sea. It was the hotline in Panmunjom, the truce village at the border. There was also a link set up between North Korean leader Kim Jong-un and South Korean President Moon Jae-in. As we saw reconciliation begin to work, it appeared, they never used that hotline. South Korea called at noon today. North Korea said it was severing these lines at noon, and the Unification Ministry told me here that the phone rang on the North Korean, but they did not answer. There's no way to know at this point when the communications could begin again, and there's really no expectation North Korea is going to say, well, we've severed them, here's when we're going to talk again. It may just be a question of South Korea continuing to call, and one day North Korea picks up the phone.
All right, so a lot of ambiguity over there, but North Korea's already weak economy has deteriorated further due to the coronavirus pandemic, which forced it to also shut its borders with China, the North's biggest trading partner and an aid benefactor. Can Pyongyang afford deteriorating its relations further with Seoul and Washington in this time of crisis?
Like I said, you know, the reason we're seeing this activity from the North now is because of the COVID-19 pandemic. They're trying to build support for the Kim Jong-un regime at home because the economy is struggling over the coronavirus outbreak. But the fact is, Seoul and North Korea have had limited interaction to begin with. North Korea could certainly benefit from more aid from the South if they were to agree to some kind of shipment, whether it's food. That isn't the case right now. They don't have the kind of atmosphere for those efforts, even though Moon Jae-in would like to accelerate those. It all comes back to China, like you mentioned, and as far as we can tell, there's likely enough cooperation at this point to continue to sustain the North Korean economy. And all signs outwardly, despite COVID-19, I've heard from different experts here, are that the North Korean economy isn't in a grave state at this time, or on the verge of collapse by any means.
Right. Let's see how things shape up now from hereafter. Thank you so much, Bruce, for bringing us all those details and joining us on this live broadcast. Well, that was all the latest happening between North and South Korea. For now, let's now turn our attention over to George Floyd, as thousands of mourners turned up at a church in Houston in Texas for a final public memorial to George Floyd. A candlelight vigil was also organized in Floyd's hometown of Houston. Several well-wishers made the sign of the cross as they approached the open casket to say a last goodbye, while others took a knee or bowed their heads in silent prayer. Floyd has now become emblematic of America's latest reckoning with racial injustice. People paid their respects to Floyd at the Fountain of Praise Church in Houston. The 6-hour viewing at the Fountain of Praise Church, which drew more than 6,000 people, was the final stage in a series of ceremonies paying tribute to Floyd before he's laid to rest on Tuesday, which is today, next to his mother in his hometown. In an emotional speech, Floyd's brother said that he is yet to come to terms with his death.
I want to thank everybody who came out to see my brother and cheer him on to victory for his last lap. Just being here, thinking about my brother, he's a gentle giant. And he had his life taken away when he shouldn't have been. He should have been here speaking on somebody else's behalf right now.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott were among those who attended the funeral, keeping in mind the social distancing rules. Only 15 masked guests were allowed inside the church at a time. Meanwhile, in Minneapolis, thousands of protesters came out to show solidarity with Floyd, switching on their mobile phones on torch mode.